What's up, everybody? This is Rich from True Budget EDC and Prepping. Use your gear, lose your gear, because if you're not using it, you might as well lose it. So today I want to come on here and respond to an open tag put out by my man Dennis at EDC for Fun. So if you get a chance, go over to his channel and check him out. Got a lot of stuff going on there over there. Super cool. Got a lot of knowledge about knives and the construction of knives and just everything about knives. He knows a lot. So check him out. If you have any questions, ask him. He's more than happy to help. And like I said, he's got a wealth of information. So check out Dennis at EDC for Fun. So I have 5 knives that make me happy, right? I think that was the tag, 5 knives that make you happy. I actually picked 6, so there's 5 knives that make me happy and a runner-up. So the first one I'm going to pull out is the James brand Carter. I love this knife, man. Seriously, this knife is like literally like the most ergonomic knife that I've ever had, ever. And the size of it is 6.5 inches, and you think that a knife this size would not fit in your hand, you know, the way that it does. It's perfectly ergonomic. It's unbelievable. It's got contoured G10 scales. It's got a milled out lock, ambidextrous lock here. They put this little cover on it to make it easier to get a hold of. It's got a thumb disc on it where your thumb rests perfectly. James brand does a lot of like design stuff, and basically that's what's going on with this knife. They put so much effort into the design of this knife that's why it's the way it is. That's why it fits in your hand the way it does. That's why, you know, even though it's not a giant knife, it fits in your hand perfectly. Like literally, look where it is. And it's amazing. So this knife makes me happy. I really, really love this knife. This is an awesome knife. It's got a really good pocket clip rollover. And it's got, you know, good action if I know how to do it. So first knife that makes me happy is definitely the James brand Carter, and it is VG10, and I like VG10. So great knife, like it a lot. It's awesome. So might as well keep with the James brand. Second James brand knife is the James brand Folsom, also in VG10. This one's a little bit bigger. This is the Folsom, and this one is about 6.75. So this one, man, this one's awesome too. This is it's got the flat scales. Unlike those are contoured, but this fits in your hand perfect as well. Even though the scales are flat, they contoured it and molded it so that it fits in your hand perfectly. And full flat grind. This real slicey. It's got that cutout for opening, that triangular cutout. It's got some jimping back there. It's just a really good knife. I've been carrying this one around a lot, actually more so than that one. So yeah, I really like this one. I like the blade shape. I like the full flat grind. A little bit bigger than that, a little bit better in your hand, but still very, very super ergonomic. And it's great for slicing things. So this is another knife that makes me happy. Liner lock, phosphor bronze washers, James brand Folsom. Fantastic knife. Here we go. American made, right? Hogue Deca. Hogue Deca definitely makes me happy. I love the Deca. You know, the funny thing is when I got the Deca, I didn't think I was going to like this blade shape because it was a little bit off to me. I don't know why. I just didn't really like the fact that they boxed out the jimping. But, you know, after I've had it for so long, it's a great, great knife. Super, like, fidgety if you do that. The action on it's ridiculous. Love the stonewash on this blade. Magna cut. Man, this knife's awesome, seriously. Even the pocket clip has got the stonewash on it. And just, like I said, the action on this knife is ridiculous. Out of the box, seriously. I did put some oil on it after a while, but there was no need. It just made it even more, like, fidgety. Seriously, this is, like, really a great knife. So I would definitely recommend picking that up if you get a chance. The Hogue Deca, definitely awesome. 100% made in the United States. Even the steel, CPM Magna Cut, made in Syracuse. Awesome knife. And then, new knife, but quickly became a knife that makes me happy, is the Spyderco Para 3 lightweight. This knife is, I like it. So everybody that knows me knows that I've never been a Spyderco dude, because I feel that the internet, you know, whether it be YouTube or Facebook or whatever, social media in general, you know, people just follow. They jump on a bandwagon. There's some guy that's got 200,000 followers, and he says, buy a pair of 3, and all of a sudden, the EDC herd is running out to buy a pair of 3s. So I didn't really buy Spydercos because of the fact that was the case. It seemed like everybody was buying them just because they were told to buy them, because the majority of people literally on social media have a herd mentality, and that's what they do. They just do what they're told, buy what they're told. Like, just zombies, just walking around, buy this, hey, okay, buy that, okay, hey, buy this, okay, I like this because he says he likes it. And nobody has their own mentality. So I was like, you know what, if you tell me to do something, I'm going to do the exact opposite. That's just how I am. So I never got one. But now the EDC herd is all China because everybody's like, buy China, buy China, buy China. So that's all everybody's doing. They're just doing what they're told. Hey, I like this Chinese knife because he says to buy it, and I like that Chinese knife because she says to buy it. So now the herd mentality is switched to China. So everybody's off of Spyderco, except for the true diehard Spyderco fans who are always going to be Spyderco fans. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get one. And it wasn't because it was a Spyderco. It's because this knife clicked a lot of boxes for me on stuff that I wanted. I obviously got two knives that are VG10, right? I like VG10. It's easy to sharpen. It's got pretty decent edge retention. 59 to 60, 58 to 60, I believe they get it. And this has a similar steel. So this is Carpenter CTS BD1N. It's a nitrogen-enriched steel, similar to VG10 and 154 CM, but it has better properties. So it's similar to those, but it's actually better, right? It has a full flat grind. I needed a full flat grind. That's what I like. Like the thumb jimping. Love the ramp. I will always have, so I like that a lot. So there's a couple of things. Made in the United States, 100%. It is. It's got, Carpenter steel's made in the United States as well. Golden, Colorado, earth. So it wasn't necessarily that I was getting a Spyderco. I just ended up getting a knife that was in my price range between $125 and $150, that had a full flat grind, that was made in the United States, that had United States steel, that had a steel similar to a steel that I like but better. So, and it's a light, and it has a rollover pocket clip. So it's deep carry wire clip, and I like that a lot. And I wanted to try out the compression lock, and I like it a lot. So, because I never liked the axis lock until I got this one. And then once they made it easier to use, honestly. So this is kind of what got me more into the axis lock and keeping my finger out of the path of the blade. So I actually really like this lock. And I had to tune it in, but you know what? Now that I have, if you're a fidgety person, it is definitely fidgety. So that's the Spyderco Para 3. I actually really like this knife, and I've only had it for a short time, but checks all the boxes, and it makes me happy. So that is another knife that makes me happy. So I have another one. Here it is. So this knife makes me happy. I don't know what I did with it. This is nothing fancy. It's a modern traditional. It's an A.G. Russell lockback rancher. Now, this knife is not in fancy materials or nothing. It's made in HCR. I paid like $70 for this knife, and everybody says $70 for HCR is crazy. But it's an A.G. Russell knife, and I wanted to get one. And A.G. Russell was kind of like a huge name in the knife industry, the whole time he was alive. He started making knives when he was like 9. He was involved in the knife industry and making knives or selling knives or doing something with knives for close to 75 years. So the dude knows a lot, and a lot of the stuff that I say I took from stuff that he said, because he reminded me of my grandfather. He's just like an old dude who carried knives, and he's a cool dude, you know what I mean? So if you get a chance, go to the A.G. Russell website. It's agrussell.com. Look at the video they got. It speaks about his life and everything, and then it also tells about he has an encyclopedia. A knife encyclopedia with all kinds of information on there, and you would imagine he would have all kinds of information, making knives and all of that stuff for like 75 years. So I really like this knife. I'm a big sodbuster fan, and I'm mostly into slip joints and traditional knives. Those are like my favorite style of knife, and this is AG's take on the sodbuster. And I love the blade shape. He made it wider and bigger, so it's bigger than a traditional sodbuster. He put this fuller in there. It's got the Federal shield. I believe this is Rucarda. It's HCR, deep carry pocket clip rollover. You can change sides. This is just a really good knife, actually. They don't make this knife anymore, but there's a lot of other A.G. Russell knives out there that he's making on his site. So again, check it. Go to agrussell.com. Check out his stuff. And for the longest time, this is like my absolute favorite knife, like seriously. So this knife definitely makes me happy. I love this knife. I would put it up, even though it's a traditional, I don't know, man. It's probably definitely in that top 5 for me, for sure, that makes me happy. So this is a really good knife, lockback. It's just a great knife overall. So those are the top 5 knives that make me happy. Now, my honorable mention, I would have put it in here if it was a top 6 knives that makes you happy, but it's Ontario Rat 2. This is a fantastic knife. When I got this knife, I got it in a deal with a dealer, actually. It was like, oh, if you buy this stuff, I'll throw this in for this price. So I ended up getting this. This is an AUS 8, and you know, this was like $20. I mean, online right now, it's not much more than that, right? What is it, 30, 40 bucks? But the Rat series is iconic in itself, and I'm not a big, huge knife guy. You know, like 8-inch knives. I like carrying smaller knives. All of these knives, you know, this is 6.5, 6 3/4, 7 1/4, about 7. That's about 7. That's 7. So all my knives are in that range from like 6.5 to 7 1/4. That's usually where I stay, and that's where I consider medium knives. I consider this a small medium. I consider a 6 3/4 to 7-inch knife an actual medium, and then I'd consider 7 1/4 a large medium. But they're all medium knives. They're not too big. You're not going to pull it out and scare the crap out of somebody. And this is right in that range. It's got very neutral scales, liner lock. You know, the Rat, this is just an awesome knife. So if you guys don't have one, this is entry-level stuff. You got to have a Rat 1 or a Rat 2 for sure. So if you get a chance, go to the store, pick one up. It's a great knife. Yeah, you can't even say good things about it. You know, there's nothing bad to say about it, honestly. It's all good things. So great knife. Rat series, all these knives are great. They all make me happy. You guys, open tag, if you want to do this, you know, top 5 knives that make you happy, and you want to throw in a, you know, an extra one. I know a lot of people do that because they have more than 5 knives that make them happy. Feel free to. Again, check out Dennis at EDC for Fun. Great channel, great guy, and he's got a lot of good information. You guys have a good one.